Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got from Monster Hunter Rise on the Nintendo Switch. And that's the fact that a brand new patch is now available in the game called version 3.4.1. And with it come a couple of little changes here and there that are not necessarily a major deal, but they are essentially fixing the game as best as possible, and a lot of bug fixing as well, which has been the typical norm, I believe, since like patch 3.1. So it's kind of like just a continuation of those efforts as they try to clean up the game as best as possible. But right away, of course, if you do want to be able to play online, they remind you to make sure you go ahead and download the patch. Essentially, you will not be able to have access to any online features if you don't go ahead and update. Also, if you want to purchase any sort of downloadable DLC, make sure you go ahead and update as well. When it comes to major changes, interestingly enough, all they list is new event quests being available every single week. But that's not necessarily new. That's kind of been the de facto for pretty much since the game launched. So I don't think they've actually missed a week when it comes to new event quests. So it's one of those where, like, interestingly enough, they're just trying to promote that as if it's not a thing already. Weird. Moving on to the bug fixes, there are a couple of monster-focused ones and a couple of player-focused ones. When it comes to monsters, they fixed a bug that occasionally causes Apex Diablo to behave unnaturally when attacking and swinging by the horn several times in a row. They fixed the bug causing monsters to enter lure states whenever essentially they are put to sleep. Another bug was causing Narwa's thunder rings from disappearing after a certain threshold of health. Essentially, whenever you lowest health, it just basically made the rings disappear. They went ahead and fixed that. They fixed some bugs with Teostra being downed. Essentially, if you throw a flash bomb at it, like mid-air, so they fixed that. And the most interesting out of all of these is that they said they fixed a bug that occasionally causes some monsters to face the complete opposite direction whenever they're trying to turn toward your way. So I think that's kind of like a good thing. You want a monster not necessarily targeting you or focusing like on the wall or something or your pet. Instead, now they're just going to like constantly just harass you even more. So if you are playing solo, presumably this is going to be one of those that is going to annoy you a little bit more. When it comes to player bug fixes, they say that they fixed a bug that causes the discrepancy between players' equipped armor types and equipment information whenever you change the weapon type before the timer runs out. So this one's interesting. It's pretty much just like the screen with information regarding your character's stats. It wasn't necessarily displaying information accordingly, so they're going to go ahead and fix that as well. A bug being fixed whenever you run animation is being canceled if you decide to gather items. That's being fixed as well. Whenever you decide to slip during a specific like dual blade demon blade being canceled mid-air, they're fixing that as well. Like presumably that only works for dual blade users. A bug causing the game to crash whenever someone joins during the middle of a rampage during a specific event. Another bug that occasionally causes monsters' mountable state to be shortened depending on the kind of attack that they're actually hit with. That's an interesting one for sure. So thankfully that one's actually being fixed because that's helpful. They're fixing a bug that causes some hairstyles to clip with the character's face while moving. There's a lot of clipping when it comes to this game, so that doesn't necessarily surprise me in the least. They fixed the bug with the bob of hairband hairstyle, essentially also clipping and having issues. Another bug fix when it comes to punching sound effects whenever you're landing and hit the dual blades piercing blind attacks while wearing the Akuma armor. So this one's really specific. They're fixing another bug causing the difference of characters' facial expressions whenever you shadow box. Essentially there was an issue there. They're fixing that as well. Another bug that prevents players from smoothly transitioning to their second kunai on the radial menu to essentially throw kunais. So hopefully that's being fixed as well, especially with the upcoming collaboration with Ghosts and Goblins. So hopefully, you know, you're going to be tossing a lot of kunais and stuff like that. So they're also going to go ahead and target that as well. There is a little bit of a nerf to Greatsword. Essentially, whenever you do Rage Slash, other attacks subsequently from that action were essentially boosted. That's not going to be the case any longer. Apparently, Rage Slash does boost your attack, and that was carrying over to subsequent attacks. They're going to go ahead and fix that as well, which is a bummer for Greatsword users for sure. There are a couple of Demon Mode situations as well for Dual Blades that they're fixing with Shrouded Vault and Demon Mode not working properly. Also the timing with Round Slash and Feral Demon Mode as well, Rising Slash and Demon Mode and Shrouded Vault. All of these are like bug fixes that they're fixing for Dual Blades. So whether those are going to be like more damage or less damage, we don't necessarily know for now. Twin Vine for Dual Blades also with the Piercing Vine is also getting sorted out as well. When it comes to hammers, there's a fixed bugs when you use the attack animation for impact crater. It usually would be canceled if you fall off a ledge, but now that's being fixed as well. Switch access zero sum discharge finisher finishes before all the hits are registered. So now they're going to go ahead and fix that. So this is actually a damage boost if you are using that ability. There is a bug with midair amped and super discharge also as well for axe hopper. So that's also getting fixed where players fall off the ledge. Pretty much the same one as the impact creator for hammer. And the last couple of ones are fixing mistakes when the time framing during whenever you do a combo. So that's actually going to do with performance changes. Hopefully that's actually good. And the last one that they mentioned is if a player launches a kinsec towards a monster that is moving away from the player, the kinsec will stop at a position from a monster at the moment the kinsec was launched. This has been fixed. So what it actually says is that kinsecs were not supposed to stop midair and then eventually return to you. They're just supposed to keep going until their stamina runs out. So hopefully what that means is that now you launch them, they actually eventually hit the monster no matter how far they actually are, and then they eventually return whenever they run out of stamina as per usual. When it comes to miscellaneous bug fixes, they mentioned that there was an occasional bug causing voice of another player to be played when sending auto shoutouts all lobby members in the multiplayer, so that's being fixed. They also mentioned text bugs as well. They're fixing that as well. And other miscellaneous bug fixes has been made, but they don't necessarily mention any of that. So once again, this patch is now available and live right now. I do believe it was available since last night, since the event quest when that dropped late at night yesterday. So I do think that people need to be making sure that they go ahead and update their game to version 3.4.1, obviously not just to be able to play online, but also to make sure that they have all these bug fixes available. Some of them are interesting, like dual blades and stuff. When it comes to like hammer, that's also being fixed. But when it comes to like bow, again, no mention of any of that. That's kind of like the one big standout each and every one of the patches that I always look out for, just to make sure that if bow is ever going to get sorted out or fixed, and that's just never seems like it's going to happen. So it's just one of those. Light, bow gun as well. Any sort of balance changes or any of that, nothing. They don't seem to be interested in doing anything along those lines. They are just trying to fix little things here and there, and they're not necessarily interested in balancing anything along those lines. Interesting decisions, I presume. I don't necessarily know why they don't do that. You would presume that a lot of people have already reported on some of these issues. I know the YouTubers that do like a lot of damage calculations and stuff have been very adamant about this kind of stuff the past couple of months, and Capcom just seems to be ignoring it altogether, and they're not necessarily anything interested in fixing any of those issues. But that's going to be it for all the information that we have regarding this brand new patch. Again, version 3.4.1 available into the game right now. If you are brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.